How would you describe your emotions right now?
Yeah, of course, I'm really happy with the result, and yeah, of course, it was very nice to score 2 goals as well.
Well, you say very nice, but I mean, would you go a little bit further than that? Because it does feel like there's been a lot of pressure building on you.
Yeah, I think it's always pressure, but yeah, I know I'll take my chances sooner or later, and yeah, today I took 2 of them, and yeah, we won 5-0, so it was a great day.
Victor, Theo Walcott here. I just wanted to ask you, everyone will speak about your goals, and I love the celebration and all that, but how important was it for you tonight to get 90 minutes under your belt in the Premier League for the first time?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a short pre-season for me. And not too many weeks training, and then of course didn't play any 90 minutes during the preseason. So yeah, it was important for me to get 90 minutes and to get the rhythm, and of course to get to know the team even more during this game. So yeah, I felt more comfortable in how we're playing, and yeah, I think you could see that as well.
Victor, congratulations, Jamie. I'm hoping you've got a screen in front of you. That first one, I would say, having watched you for many years, this feels like your signature move. You want to run into open spaces and do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm comfortable when the ball is coming in behind, especially on the left. And then, yeah, cutting inside, and I know I'll take the chance when I have it like that. And yeah, it was a nice goal to start off with.
And Victor, I just want to talk about the players around you as well in the moment in time in the squad. It must be music to your ears having the likes of Gyökeres, Saka, and obviously Max Darwin coming on, and Martinelli wasn't even used tonight. There's so many options for you to get the best out of yourself as well for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have so many amazing players going forward, and I think for me it's just important to be in the right place, and yeah, doing the movements that I'll do during the game, and then yeah, I think I'll get a lot of chances during the season.
Can you give us some insight, Victor, into what the biggest challenges would be for someone like yourself, who's obviously played in English football before, but now in the Premier League at a club like Arsenal?
Yeah, of course, it's difficult. I think all the teams we play against want to challenge us and do it difficult for us. So yeah, we have to prepare for every game as best as possible. But yeah, we have an amazing team, and we train well and we work hard every day. So yeah, it's just keep going like this. We started off well now with 2 wins, 2 clean sheets, and a lot of goals. So yeah, I think we're on the right path. But yeah, we can always do better and improve. So yeah, that's the aim.
Well, the good news is, from a personal level, you're averaging a goal a game now, 2 games into the Premier League season. And I think you've got a couple of celebrations to choose from moving forward, Victor, because we saw the usual one, but then the hair has been added as well. Now, I don't know if there's anything in this, Victor, but did some people say last week you had more touches of your hair than of the ball at Old Trafford? Has that got anything to do with that?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it could be. Like that, yeah.
Well, that's a lovely way to answer any critics. Victor, congratulations and thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Be excited about tonight.
A lot, a really positive afternoon. I think to start the season at home in the manner that we've done it, you could sense the energy immediately that is going up a level. And that's what we're looking for. I think the team played really well, really confident, really attacking. We didn't concede anything, and 5 goals and a clean sheet is a very good start.
In terms of your fluency and your open play, do you think that improved and grew maybe after the first goal?
Probably, and that you need that, and teams are really well organised in the league, and it's not easy to get through them, but that's definitely a factor. We have the ability to score from various ways. Very happy as well for Victor to score the first 2 goals. Julian, 2 goals after such a long injury and all the hard work that him and the medical staff had to put in. And then, yeah, the debut of Mosque. And for sure, the one of Max as 15 years old, that was a special moment, and you could sense it.
I mean, you really could sense it, couldn't you? The stadium absolutely came alive. He electrified the place. I was thinking for you, like with how exciting giddy we're going to get, how exciting giddy the supporters are going to get. Is your job to try and sort of keep a lid on it a little bit? And is that, I mean, just watching him tonight, that's going to be impossible, isn't it?
I think we have to gather on the information, and it's how he reacts, how he deals with that situation, what his teammates feel about him, and it's very clear because they constantly give him the ball. And then, we have the ability as well to change the energy in this stadium by bringing him in. And then he's got an impact. He wins a penalty in his debut at the Emirates. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm very aware when I asked this that you came through at Barcelona, but at 15, have you seen anything like it?
Well,
yes.
Ethan was a bit younger when he made his debut. Incredible. I think that's credit, first of all, to the families, the way these kids have been raised and the environment that they have created, because they are not overwhelmed by the situation, by the context. A lot of courage, a lot of determination, and then the academy as well, the work that they've done to raise those kids in that manner, with that confidence, and then with that understanding of the game, which is very unusual at 15.
I've got a quote from you from pre-season in my mind about Victor Gyökeres, where you said one-on-one, he'll destroy you. And we saw that for the first time with the first goal.
Yes, I mean, he's so powerful, he's so determined in those actions, and the moment he has the space and he can attack people, you are dead.
The excitement actually began before the game with the Berrieza. I don't think you were out, you saw it, but it was that, again, a bit like the thing with Max, it was quite a moment. I mean, you can talk about it now. How pleased are you to have him?
I think it started. You could feel it in the last 24 hours that something else was happening. I think our supporters, the way they reacted, what he brought immediately, it's something special. We signed a player with an enormous talent that he has a massive impact in this league. And on top of that, he has unbelievable feelings toward the football club. He's made it very clear. His family's made it very clear. And you can sense that. So I missed it because I was there, but just spoke to him. He had a massive smile on his face. So welcome to the family.
When did you know you were going to get him?
Well, I was very convinced yesterday that everything was going to be through. But this is football, and everything has to be done. The medical has to be done. The paperwork has to be finalized. In terms of the player, how convinced he was to come, I have no doubt.
But at the start of the week, did you think maybe he was going somewhere else, not too far away?
Probably not. At the start of the week, I wasn't really planning to that.
Okay. I must ask you about the bad news I mentioned at the start. It's Saka and Odegaard of all people.
Martin looks like a shoulder, so we only have to scan tomorrow and understand how bad this is. And Bukayo, he has to come off. When he was sprinting and wrestling with the defender, he felt something in his hamstring, I think. So
different hamstring, though, I think, which hopefully is good news.
It's the other side, but not great news. No.
Do either of those, I know it's hard as you stand there now, feel like they might be long term?
I don't know. We lost Kai, which is a massive player already, and now Martin and Bukayo. That's why the squad has to be well equipped. It's going to be a long season, and we're going to need a lot of players in order to achieve what we want.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
On the broadcast a few moments ago, everything other than the Bukayo Saka injury, a perfect day. Do you want to start? Let's start with the good things. Let's start with Victor Gyökeres.
There's a lot of good things.
Yeah, there are. There's a whole list. Where does your mind go to, Rob?
It does go to Victor Gyökeres because I think everybody realises how important he's going to be for Arsenal to get a number of goals. The penalty was very well taken. He's got a brilliant record, so that was confirmation of that. His goal was very much a signature Gyökeres goal. If you look back at his previous few seasons, most of the goals come from that kind of sweeping run in behind and then drives inside and scores with his right foot. So many positive for Arsenal in terms of the players, the new players that are settling in. I was critical at half-time about the build-up play and the flow and the rhythm. It wasn't great. It got better in the second half, but they've got so many options now, Rebecca. Martin Odegaard, and of course, because Saka got injured, but there's so many players to come in, so many stories. Gyökeres Eze in the stand waiting to come into the group as well. So there's a lot going on at Arsenal and a lot of positive things.
Tim, what feels different about Arsenal so far after 2 games?
Well, I think they're learning over the last couple of years. They've learned how to become champion without being champion, and so they have that swagger. Again, they haven't lifted the trophy, but they have the swagger. They have the belief that they can do it. I'm delighted for them that they still have set pieces that they can rely on because that's important. Look, With the injuries, I mean, here's the thing that I think Arsenal fans need to kind of switch, because you touched on it. The squad is pretty robust now. They're deep. Whereas before it was one injury, season's over, right? It happened to Gabriel, it happened to Saka. This team is built differently. They're built to sustain certain injuries and go again and be able to put someone in the starting lineup and not have a drop-off. That's what City did all those years. That's why they won a title, because they could chop and change and then their level never dropped off. I think this Arsenal team is getting there.
Tim, how do you feel about a 15-year-old coming on?
I'm delighted for him, but I worry when these youngsters get, we know what it's like to be in a dressing room and it's so hard for a young kid to relate. It's great, it's amazing. But I always worry about the mental side of it for these young kids, because there's so much that gets thrown at them, and it's really hard to handle.
But you can understand the temptation when you see
Sure.
him play the way he just played Max Dowman.
I mean, he's very silky, very tricky, very clever, very confident at being that young. I mean, we have previous. Ethan Nwaneri has done this. This football club has been very careful bringing these young ones in. I'm sure the manager wants to give him a little bit of, this is what it's all about, son. Take a little bit of that in. Was it 4-0, I think, when he came into the game? And he'll be out again a little bit. So I think they've done it before with Nwaneri, by the way, that I like more every time I see him play. Ethan Nwaneri, very comfortable knitting things together in midfield. And with Max Dowman, I think we're going to see the similar type of development.
Quick line about Bukayo Saka. We don't know what injury it is. Of course, he had surgery on his right hamstring. He seemed to be clutching his left leg. It's a concern. His face.
His face told us everything when we see him go down there. And you get the close-up on his face. It's just one of those things. And, hopefully, whatever it is, it's not too many weeks, because I think we're probably looking at weeks. But as Tim talked about, there's a lot of players there, Rebecca, that can... It's not such much of a downer when you can bring Madueke there, you can be able to bring Eza there. You've got Trossard coming in that did a good job last year. So there's lots of cover, but let's hope it's not too bad.
And then potentially to lose your captain, Ødegaard, and to lose Bukayo Saka. Is this playing into Liverpool's hands? Or do Arsenal this season, unlike last, have the options to cope with that?
Well, they did cope. As soon as they made obviously the changes, of course it's disappointing, but there was, even more freedom play, because these are players that want to impress. They're going to want to, someone like Trossard, who actually would probably look at himself thinking, I need to do more now. And then players like Martinelli, who's never been tested in this domain at Arsenal Football Club, having all these players around him now thinking, I'm going to have to reach a new level. There's going to see a different side of me now. So suddenly you start to get levels of players wanting to do better than them. And of course they're going to be competitive. They're going to want to be at Anfield. But this is where Mikel Arteta will be disappointed, but it'd be grateful he's got all these players to pick from.
I think it just shows you the importance of signing Eberechi Eze. Because right now they need him. They're going to need him probably. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts at Anfield. Because if you think about it, Madueke will probably go back onto the right.
I mean, he could have started today in his jeans. He was so
this
chilled,
is the coolest
today?
walkout I've ever seen. I mean, just look at this little look to his right. I mean, he's got the chewing the gum. He looks cool in the jeans. And then there you go. Stop. Hold the pose. And he's like, that's one happy man right there. And I met him a few weeks ago, actually, in a restaurant in London. And I was having a little chat with him. And I was like, well, what a great guy. He is such a cool dude. And he is going to be brilliant there. And the number 10 shirt just feels right on him, because at Palace, he was 10 at Palace, wasn't he? Yeah. I'm sure he was 10 anyway, when he played the 10. And it just feels like he deserves it. He's done such a great job for Crystal Palace. This is now his big opportunity. Did you tell me earlier he got released from there as a kid as well?
He's been released at Arsenal when he was young, so it just shows, doesn't it?
Unfinished business.
The reception was amazing.
Well, he's a player that reminds me of like a Dennis Bergkamp, that can just do something different. He's like you say, you've got that number 10 shirt, that pressure as well. But if you walk out like that, you can
Is it different, though, playing at Crystal Palace and playing at Arsenal?
The thing is, though, he won't shy away from the way he plays from Palace to Arsenal, because he just loves playing football. And when you have players that just enjoy when the ball's at their feet and they have that aura about and that presence, and now having that shirt of Arsenal when he's been at the club thinking, I'm going to show you, I'm going to make it work here. Look, you can just see how gifted he is. He just creates space, he gets into areas.
Good strike as well, Theo.
And the goals are the side of it, which you look at someone like Ødegaard, probably doesn't get as many goals in that position. He scores all kinds of
Seems
goals.
to perform in big games as well. We've seen that in cup finals recently, Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't quite get hold of this one, though. Yeah, he's a fantastic
do you
player.
think it's also
he's played for his country. We're not talking like he is gonna flourish there, and I would like to see him in positions where in here, if he plays wide, it's a bit more difficult for him to make things happen. I feel right now, the one player would be under a little bit of pressure, and if I thought 2 years ago I'd be saying this, I would have thought I must be crazy, but I think the captain Odegaard will be looking, thinking he might be a problem for me, because if he gets in, it might be hard for.
Do you think for now though he's most likely to be on the left side, wide left?
He can play wide left, he can play inside, but we've shown clips there, and the reason why we've shown those clips is because that's where he's at his best. Martinelli won't come in there and play in that area. I feel if you ask Eze, he'd want to play centrally where he can make things happen. But you mentioned about Martinelli that he might need this because he's been too comfortable.
All those
for too long.
substitutions today, we haven't seen Martinelli.
No, and this might be a situation now where for Martinelli he needs to up his game, and Eze will certainly bring that. He's got so much confidence.
Is it also significant, Theo, and probably this is the last one on Arsenal, that in players like Gyökeres and in players like Eze, this is a shift from the age profile of players that Arsenal have been signing. These are now signings to deliver the biggest trophies right now.
Well, even you look at going back to Eze, he brought the best out of Mateta. So now they're going to want to bring the best out of Gyökeres. But you're right, the age and having that experience and that presence of actually thinking, yeah, this is me at that age, I think is a good place to be right now if you're at Arsenal Football Club.
I'll tell you one thing, though. There's no excuses now for the manager. You bought the players. He's been backed. They have severely backed this manager.
Well, how about Havertz and Saka and Odegaard? Just three.
Yeah,
but they're going to be.
Yeah, but that's why. But they've backed him, and the reason why they haven't probably got over the line previously is they haven't had the strength in depth. Now they have. You're going to be bringing in players that are of top quality as well.
We will see.
You'd have answered that question if he'd have been here. You'd never have asked it to him. You're brave behind this studio, aren't you?
He's a big boy.
He's a big
boy.
guy. He's a big guy.
Do you think that power is going to frighten some defences this season?
I do, because I just don't feel like it gives you any second to rest. And as a centre-half in the Premier League these days, at times they can be, especially because a lot of these forwards like to get in the pockets now as well. They don't like to play against these guys who want to always be testing them in positions they want and isolating them into areas they don't want to be. So for me, I just think he's going to have a lot of joy, and even in set pieces as well, he's an absolute handful to deal with. So, look, this is obviously Timber's second goal, who just doesn't give up, and it was a slight. So we're going back to the goal here with Timber. There's a slight mistake and potentially a handball, wasn't there, before the goal we were saying? But look, Timber is in the right place at the right time again. He gets his rewards. It's not often he gets 2 goals in this situation.
I mean, but they do just cause chaos with these set pieces, don't they? And I think they just spread so much fear because that is, listen, you can't. If you're trying to analyse a goal, I'm not quite sure how you do this because it's just chaos. They've got a load of bodies going in there. They're aggressive. They want to win it. You've got Saliba, Calafiori. But Yuri and Timber will not care one bit. He's just got a cheeky brace. He's delighted. As he said, he's got his family there. And he's a nuisance in that box. And he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he certainly knows where the goal is. He did it a few times as well last year. He's in a really good signing for him. He's one of those players that goes so unnoticed. There's a lot of good players there. Miles Lewis, Skelly in defensive areas. But he's one that the manager always plays. He's such an important player for them. Really, and especially after when he first arrived at the club, he had obviously a terrible injury. And now you can see the real fit. Timber,
Strength in depth.
Strength in depth. He's a really good player and a good type as well.
Isn't there now for Arsenal? And we saw it again with the substitutions and the youngsters coming on, not least 15-year-old Max Dowman, 16 on New Year's Eve. He wins the
goal. It just looked very run-of-the-mill for Arsenal. It was an easy game for Arsenal in the end.
And I think it was really good that Victor Gyökeres got on the score sheet. Talk us through his goal, his first goal.
No, yeah, it's very important for him. Here, ball over the top, he's already going into the channel, and he's very single-minded at this point. Comes inside of a strike again and hits it in the short corner where the goalkeeper can't settle. And this is what they have now. Gyokeres going into the space. They didn't have that last year of a striker trying to go into depth of the game. And yeah, whatever you say, well taken goal from the striker. And off he goes now. Feels a little bit better. Does his celebration of the mask, and well done.
Well done indeed.
And again, obviously the set piece. It's a beautiful ball in the area. Too many bodies in there. And Arsenal calls problems. Leeds all over the place. Again, we mentioned how many set pieces they conceded last year in the Championship. They conceded the most, and you could see it here. There's hardly anyone even jumping. They're not really even challenging for it. It's poor defending, but again, Arsenal taking full advantage of the fact that they're so very good with their delivery and the bodies in the box. You know?
Yeah. Look, Arsenal is very strong in them set pieces. You know that it is coming.
Yeah.
You know that it is going to happen, and still they find their way, you know, to get on the end of things. So the delivery is so good.
And we've updated the graphic just for you, just behind.
Okay.
So
yes.
Arsenal are
33
33 goals from corners since August 2023.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Absolutely, of course it matters.
It does matter, but it can't take away of the open play goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to be more on top of your open play goals. You do that, you have such a big chance of becoming champions.
It's the second game of the season. They're still playing in, still finding out how people are going to play, because that first goal, what Gyökeres scored there, when the ball went inside to Calafiori, he didn't even look. So when that happens, they know he's going. You know, midfielders will know he's going, so they won't even be looking. They'll be looking to put it in there. So those are the things that you're hoping in the next few weeks will iron themselves out, get to know the team, and then maybe we start seeing goals instead of set pieces.
No. I like the set pieces.
But
goals.
you're saying it's not the only way, and you need to have more.
They can't be dependent of it.
Did they show today that they're not dependent on it, though?
Yes, they did. But I would have want Gyokeres to score the 1-0 on the chance in an open play. Yeah? And yes, when the game is tight, when the game has to be unlocked, that's what happened today. Set piece, important, you score them. But at the moment, the balance of the set pieces, scoring the set pieces, and open play, for me, is not balanced enough for Arsenal.
Max Dowman came on as well. He got a lovely reception from the crowd, rightly so. He's only 15 years old. What a bright future he has, and what an impact he made as well.
Yeah, but he's been doing that in pre-season, and what he's done, it's not a flash in the pan. We've heard about him for many years at Arsenal. We've known he's coming. You know, and obviously this pre-season he's shown, and he was being electric in the pre-season. So he got his chance, and you know he's a player that, you know, fantastic left foot, great pace, good turn of pace, wants to take people on. You know, and that's what he done in the box there. You know, he got himself there. Matthew Upson didn't see that. You know what I mean? I was screaming.
Arsenal's first home Premier League match of the season was marred by injuries to Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, both of whom had to leave the pitch early during their convincing win over Leeds. Saka left the field very slowly after dropping to the turf in the second half. He seemed to indicate a problem with his left hamstring while receiving treatment from Arsenal's physio before being substituted for Leandro Trossard. Odegaard also had to come off towards the end of the first half due to a shoulder injury. Despite an awkward fall, the Gunners' captain attempted to continue but was eventually replaced by Ethan Nwaneri. When Saka exited the match, Arsenal were leading 3-0. The England star had contributed to the scoreline with a precise strike, sandwiched between goals from Jurrien Timber and Victor Gyökeres. Shortly after Saka's departure, Timber scored his second goal of the match, stretching Arsenal's advantage to 4-0. But the news of Odegaard and Saka's injuries is a big blow ahead of their trip to Anfield to face title rivals Liverpool next Sunday. Ibereki Eze, who was unveiled to the Emirates fans pre-match, could come straight into the starting lineup on Merseyside.